Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something really fascinating with the Pi Network.
Yeah, it's quite a paradox, isn't it?
It really is. We're looking at some source material, excerpts from Pi, bartering, not speculation, and it highlights this fundamental conflict.
Mm,
It might actually challenge how you think about, how digital value even gets formed.
absolutely.
So the founder, Nicolas, he's on record saying Pi is meant for bartering,
Mm.
specifically within their own ecosystem.
Right, which is developing.
Exactly. And that's important because Pi isn't like readily available on typical crypto exchanges. People mine it on their phones.
So the idea is this massive user base could actually use it for internal trade.
Yes. The founder's vision seems pretty clear. It's not for trading on external markets, not for speculation.
And, it's actually quite rare for a founder to be that explicit. Bartering, not speculation. That
Right.
tells you a lot, or it's intended to tell you a lot, about the long-term vision.
What do you think it signals?
Well, it's an attempt to define the currency's core purpose right from the start. Practical use, actual exchange of goods or services, rather than just, hoping the price goes up.
So utility over investment potential.
Precisely. And for you listening, that's really a critical distinction to grasp when you look at any digital asset, but especially Pi. It sets a different expectation compared to something launching straight onto Binance, right?
Okay, but here's where it gets really complicated.
Ah, yeah, the community.
Exactly. The same source material points out that the Pi community itself has this, incredibly ambitious goal.
It's quite specific, too.
Very specific. They're aiming for a consensus price of $314,159 per Pi.
Wow.
And they use the slogan, "To the moon."
Which is like the classic speculators rallying cry.
Right. So you have the founder saying no speculation and the community aiming for this astronomical price and shouting "to the moon."
Yeah.
It feels like a direct clash.
It's a huge tension. I mean, it's almost like the founder designed a bicycle for commuting around town, and the riders are all planning to cycle to Mars. You've got this very clear, stated anti-speculation purpose from the creator.
Directly stated.
Directly. And then you have the community using the same source almost,
Yep.
declaring this massive financial target with purely speculative language.
So the question for you listening becomes, how do you reconcile that? How can a project function when the founder's vision and the community's main driver seem so, opposed? But wait, couldn't you say that lots of early tech communities, maybe even Bitcoin way back, had pie-in-the-sky price hopes? Is Pi really that different?
That's a fair point. Enthusiasm is common, but I think what makes Pi stand out is the combination of things.
Okay.
It's the founder's really explicit anti-speculation stance from day one, plus the way Pi grew this huge grassroots user base without being on major exchanges.
Right, the typical path wasn't followed.
Exactly. So it's not just general excitement, it's a documented philosophical clash happening with potentially millions of users. Does this tension actually stop Pi from achieving its bartering goal?
Or could the community's ambition, ironically, be the thing that drives adoption, even if it's for the wrong reason, according to the founder?
That's the fascinating question. It's this real tug of war, And it really shows the power a decentralized community can have.
So wrapping this up then, for you listening, the key takeaway here is this stark difference. Founder's vision. Pi as a simple bartering tool in a closed loop.
Mm-hmm.
Community's vision. Pi reaching an incredibly high specific price expressed with, very speculative language.
Yeah. And if you zoom out, this kind of tension isn't totally unique to Pi, but Pi makes it incredibly clear.
He's a stark example.
It really is. This conflict between, say, intended utility and community hopes, that's something you should really watch for when looking at digital assets. It forces you to ask a fundamental question.
Which is?
In these new digital economies, what actually defines value? Is it the creator's original plan? Or is it the collective belief, the story, the sheer ambition of the users? The Pi Situation founder saying, no speculation, community shouting, to the moon.